Folks, prick up your ears and listen very carefully. That is absolutely not a messy chain of random noise. It is the expansion specification of a mechanical era long gone. A slow, sharp-edged band of seismic vibration carrying the weight of dozens of tons of cast iron and steel hammering into one another. Just imagine a machine that had been left discarded in a mine for more than a century. Or a heavy block of metal that forced mechanics to use a blowtorch, spitting fire, to heat it red hot before it would finally bite into revs and wake up. Welcome back to the engine history. Today, we are not just standing around watching machines run for show. We are diving straight into old machine shops, tasting the bitter tang of rusty oil residue, and measuring the vibration spectrum of the foundation beneath the flywheel's brutal momentum-storing rotations. Look straight at the 50 horsepower Samson block. Completely different from those lightweight 2 or 15 horsepower machines. This is a true, oversized, overweight steel mass of the early 20th century machine casting industry. Left exposed to the weather and rust in an Arizona ore mine, it sat covered and forgotten for more than 100 years before veteran mechanics pulled it back to the workshop and stripped it down. Those mechanics had to sand every cylinder wall back into shape and weld back each camshaft bearing seat. And when the solid cast flywheel was spun up for momentum by an auxiliary tractor, the first sharp-edged exhaust blast it spat out was a steely specification sheet sealing the eternal toughness of metallurgy. If you also respect the rigid strength of original mechanical engineering, if you are hooked on inspecting rusted steel blocks holding the power of true workhorses, please hit subscribe to the Engine History right now. Your follow is a priceless stream of high-pressure, pumped lubricating oil, helping the team continue hunting down and craning the most violently powerful mechanical heritage blocks on the planet back onto the test stand. Starting up an engine block cast in the early 20th century forced the mechanic to follow a face-scorching, heat-forcing discipline, not casually turn an electric starter key. Take a look at the 1908 Hornsby Ackroyd block. The mechanic had to clamp on a gasoline blowtorch spitting flame directly into the combustion chamber for a relentless 5 to 12 minutes. The smell of residual kerosene mixed with the heat radiation of expanding metal filled the workshop with a heavy stench. When the cast iron valve cover glowed red hot, the compression release valve was loosened, the flywheel was turned backward to gather momentum, and a sharp-edged, ear-tearing explosion blasted out. The fuel mixture was driven straight into the heat-soaked metal wall and self-ignited. The intelligence of machining, milling, and lathe work did not stop there. You are looking at the 12-horsepower Bessemer Ennis half-breed, an extreme hybrid modification from the oil well drilling industry. The engineers used the cast iron base of an old steam engine block and joined it under clamping force with a 2-stroke gas cylinder bore. The purpose was to cut down operating costs in the most harsh and isolated oil fields. Its intermittent hit-and-miss exhaust rhythm, mixed with the smell of raw gas smoke, created a dusty band of specifications that no electronic circuit board assembly could ever hope to copy. When it comes to four-stroke stationary combustion engine blocks, Britain's Crossley Brothers foundry locked down the crown of metallurgy. This 1910 casting design applied the Otto cycle directly to a horizontal cylinder configuration with perfectly precise machining tolerances. Its reciprocating balance was more than capable of hammering out torsional pulling force to carry loads for tens of thousands of workshops and water pumping stations across Europe, pushing heavy industry into its next gear. But the test stand is not only about smooth engine speeds. Look straight at the Czechoslovak origin Tatra V12 Type 930 engine block. This is a heavy-duty diesel block, packed with a combustion chamber displacement reaching 19 liters. Yet it threw away the radiator and used a configuration cooled entirely by forced airflow. The wind-tearing whistle of its enormous centrifugal fan, biting in rhythm with 12 pistons hammering through continuous compression ignition, pumped out more than 400 horsepower. Engineers shaped it to crush load across the harshest terrain imaginable, from desert fire bowls to the frozen mud fields of Siberia, sealing one steely principle. Stripped-down minimalism is core strength. Moving over to another corner of the workshop, the crew comes face to face with small workhorse engine blocks. The 1.5 horsepower Fairbanks Morse Z discarded the harsh hit-and-miss interruption mechanism, with engineers installing a centrifugal-governed throttle system directly to lock the engine speed into a steady, even firing rhythm. The pale blue smoke puffing out from excess lubricating oil burning away exposed a logbook of countless hours spent pumping irrigation water and working the soil of American agriculture. Closing today's lineup is the wave-biting SKL 3NVD18 machine from East Germany. Cast with a heavy, solid iron body, it is grim and quiet, yet fiercely reliable under load. Although the paperwork specifications show only 42 horsepower at 1,000 revolutions per minute, this engine block locked down its position as an auxiliary power generation station, working without ever losing breath or dropping rhythm on heavyweight fishing vessels cutting through ocean waves. From the giant Samson that wrings inertia dry to the extreme hybrid modified Bessemer, all of them close on one shared specification: the endless machining intelligence of metallurgical engineers. Modern circuit board machinery may process signals more smoothly, but it can never match the core toughness of these solid cast iron blocks, where every mechanical clearance and every cam and rocker angle is exposed 100% directly before the eyes of working mechanics. Thank you folks for staying with the engine history today to breathe in acrid smoke, smell grease, and measure this lineup of machines. Which do you respect more? The hot bulb torch-fired ignition specifications of the Hornsby, or the brutal compression pressure of the Tatra V12 block? Drop your assessment right into the comments so the workshop crew can inspect it. Do not forget to hit like on the video if you enjoy looking at these original cast iron and steel blocks. Goodbye folks, and see you again in the next load measuring, rev choking sessions.